be as honest as possible, and I'm gonna talk about all the things that I experienced or that I did. Currently, okay, for the ones who don't know or like who are first timers on my channel, hi, my name is palesadisenyana and I'm an international student in the USA from South Africa. The easy answer is literally research, but it's obviously not that easy. I know it's not that easy because that's all I relied on, and I mean, I do wish there was like someone on the internet who's South African and could give me like tips, you know, and also talk about the experience studying abroad and stuff like that. And I never really got that, so might as well be that person that I wanted to find on the internet. I think I'm not that shy. Like, the shyness is slowly going away. I already had this idea, dream, goal in my mind from a very young age, and if you keep believing in yourself, you will get there. Before even the application, you might deal with like people demotivating you or trying to bring you down or trying to make you think that it's impossible and that you can't do it. And the only way to get through that is to believe in yourself, believe in your abilities, your dreams, your drive. So we're gonna start first with the top tips I have. Number one is start researching as soon as possible. Like, just start researching everything. And then number two, yeah, now the second tip is be honest with yourself, be honest with your family, and your teachers about, like, you know, why you want to study abroad, why it's important to you, why you see yourself, why you want to study abroad rather than in your home country. Tip number three is prepare your application documents as early as possible. So literally prepare yourself for like applying as soon as possible, which comes after like researching study abroad, researching universities you want to go to, which location you want to study in. So I just want to say disclaimer, universities in Africa, and well, I know of South Africa only, I know that universities in South Africa are amazing. So this is not me saying like you know, study abroad is like the best option or whatnot. This is just my preference, what I wanted to do, and the main reason I wanted to study abroad is because I love traveling and I just want to see the world. Firstly, my parents already knew that I wanted to study abroad like since I was in grade 4, 5. So I started researching early, and since I wanted to do actuarial science, I researched top universities for actuarial science, or you know, in around the world. Initially, I didn't have a specific country or region where I wanted to study. I was just looking at the world as this blank canvas where I would end up where I'm meant to be. So yeah, I was looking at universities in Asia, in the USA, in the UK, and in Australia. And then after doing a lot of research about not only the course I wanted to do, but also like researching about the countries, researching about the universities and how like tertiary education works in the different countries, I just narrowed down my decision to the UK and the USA. And then the second thing I did was basically find out how to apply. So searching how to apply to universities in the UK and how to apply to universities in the USA, because in the USA you have to use the Common App. Well, not you have to, but like you can use the Common App to apply to multiple universities. So it's like a platform where you create like one general application and then you can send it out to like the different universities that you want to apply. There's the same thing with the UK as well, but then they use a different platform called the UCAS. then depending on the universities you're applying to, you're gonna have like extra requirements, or you might have extra requirements from the universities. And again, both the UK and the US are completely different, like very different, also from the South African application process. Because the South African application process, the only thing they really want is like your grades for grade 11. So basically that's all you need, and then you can apply and then see if like you get in. The biggest tip I can give you guys on how to approach the applications is to try your very best to make yourself be a well-rounded student, or make yourself seem like a well-rounded student. Basically that means you must be engaging in many types of educational and recreational activities. So they want to see that you have other interests and accomplishments outside learning academics, and outside academics and the class. Next tip is knowing more than one language is an advantage in the application. So for all my South Africans and our 11 languages, you know what it is. You know what it is. Especially if you know or speak a language that is not common in the US or internationally in general. So like Boma Afrikaans, Tswana, Sesotho, Zulu. As long as you can do the damn things, put that on the application, and then when they see it, they're gonna be like, what's this? Afrikaans. Or what's Zulu? Before even like applying, there's an exam that is very much required, like not even optional, and it's either, actually there's two types of them, but it's kind of the same thing. So they're called SAT or ACT, and both of them are composed of mathematics or just like numbers and whatever, and then the other section is English writing and speaking. So also research on those ones and then check which one you would prefer writing. But if I had the option, I would have researched earlier about SATs and ACTs and like wrote both of them early, like probably in grade 8 and 9, because the earlier you start, as you make mistakes, you get to learn from them and get to rewrite, so that by the time you have to apply to the universities, you have acquired the SAT or ACT mark that you are content with. So because I was there having to study for prelims and finals and exams and tests while studying a big fat book for my SATs. It was so bad. I was literally, and then it was literally the first year of COVID. So the other issue was finding a site to write my SATs. It was so bad. But yeah, please also register for your SATs and like your other tests. For example, if you're not a native English speaker, then you have to write a TOEFL or IELTS exam, which is to test your English level, like to see how well you can speak English. So firstly, since English is a common medium of language in South Africa and I've been speaking English my entire life, I didn't have to write a TOEFL or IELTS exam. But again, that depends on where you're applying, which university you're applying to. Some universities require those exams for all international students, and you'll have to pay to write that exam. So I was like, I ain't about that life. Yeah, the other tip was check to see if you have to write more exams. For example, in the UK, they have their own type of exams, just like the TOEFL and IELTS exams. So check that also while you're researching about SATs or preparing to write your SATs, ACTs. Check if you have to write other ones. You can check on the university website or contact the admission counselor's office. These are some of the things that I was searching about study abroad in general. So the first thing was researching about different locations to study in. For example, I would search best countries for international students to study in, or best countries to live in as an international student. So not only as a student, but like as an international student, because you don't just want to rock up in a small town where you're the only foreign person there. I mean, if that's your cup of tea, you do you, boo. I applied to universities that were in cities that I knew I would like to live in. I would search day in my life in, for example, New York as a student, or day in my life as a student at Georgia State University, or day in my life as a student in Atlanta, stuff like that. The second thing I researched was top schools and locations for the course I wanted to do, so actuarial science, or the degree career you want to pursue, because like you'd find that there are really great universities in one location, but then you can thrive more in a different location based on the career you want to do. And then the third thing I started researching was financial aid and scholarships. Unfortunately, getting a scholarship in South Africa to study abroad is not that common, so I unfortunately didn't get any, or didn't find any. Maybe I just had to look more. But yeah, some schools offer scholarships to their students to study abroad, and then there are also government scholarships to study abroad, but most of them are for post-grad. So like after doing your undergrad and getting your degree, then you can get the scholarship to further your studies. But then I don't want to wait that long, so my best option was getting financial aid. So yeah, research financial aid and scholarships, because they're two completely different things. Similar but not the same thing. And then if you're interested in studying or living in a country where English is not the main medium of communication, then start learning the language early, like even before applying, because so that when you're applying you can mention in the application that you can speak the language. You can also search for countries where you can go to university for free as an international student. That's important, because sometimes some countries will say like university is free, but then they only mean for their citizens. So yeah, I think one of the countries that had universities where you can study for free was Germany. I'm not too sure, but I feel like Germany was one of them. However, the catch is that most of those countries, you have to learn the language. So I was like, I can't do it. I can't. You have to learn the language, because at those universities, they teach in their native language. So, and then your recommendation letters. Yeah, your recommendation letters from your teachers, your school counselor. At my school we didn't have a school counselor, which means you have to be like a good student and be tight with your teachers. Go to your favorite teacher and tell them in advance, maybe like 2 years or a year in advance, even before you start applying, and be like, hey ma'am, because I let my teachers know, like in the beginning of the year, I had a lot of favorite teachers, and I think I was good with a lot of teachers. Like I wasn't a troublemaker, so yeah, I liked my teachers. My principal was amazing, and I'm not even lying. My principal was amazing. Like my teachers and my principal helped me so much. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If you go to Cure Thatchfield High School and you want to study abroad, guys, go to your principal, and like if you need a recommendation, depends though. If you're a good student, I recommend getting a recommendation letter from a teacher you have a really good relationship with, from a class you enjoy and you're doing good in. and a teacher who has been teaching you for a while. They have to write something like that will give the university some insight about you, and good insight. There's a section where it writes your awards and honors, so get those awards, your honors. It doesn't have to be academics only, also sports awards, and what's this, recreational awards like choir, or winning an award for singing, dancing, talent shows. Just literally do anything and everything, but at the same time it has to be something you really enjoy and are good at, because even though having multiple extracurriculars on your application is a good thing, they want to see how long you were like committed to those extracurriculars or activities, and if you were good in them. Because if you indicate that you were in certain extracurriculars for a while, it shows that you're a person that is able to commit and grow with, grow with an activity, or grow into a certain skill, and sometimes you can even use it in your motivational letter. Another tip for motivational letters is before writing mine, I would read like motivational letters that got into top schools, or that got people into top schools, to get an idea of what level I should be writing at, and to get an idea of how my motivational letter should look. Because the motivational letter I used in my American applications was not the same essay I used in my UK applications, because they have different requirements for the applicants, so stay aware of that. Oh, I also got a recommendation letter from my drum majorettes coaches. So also about extracurricular, I almost forgot this tip for extracurriculars. I saw somewhere that if you can, try and be involved in extracurriculars that are not that common. I love drum majorettes. I was so happy I did it, because even in my interviews, they would ask, so what's drum majorettes? And I'd be like, oh, this is drum majorettes, da 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 da. And the admission counselors would be so interested and intrigued and be like, oh wow, okay, that sounds nice, that sounds interesting. So yeah, if this drum majorettes at your school, do it. I was part of Curo Navy drum majorettes, the high school team. I think this is probably the last thing. Deadlines. So also when you're preparing to apply, check out deadlines and make sure you understand what each deadline means, because in America they have 3 different types of deadlines. There's early action, early decision, and regular decision. So when you apply early, you can either apply early decision or early action. Early decision is binding and early action is non-binding. So binding means that when you apply for early decision and you get accepted into that particular university, you have to go there no matter what. So if they accept you, that means you have to go there. You will go there. Which is why you can only apply for early decision to one university only, but you can still apply early action to the rest of the other universities. If it sounds confusing, you can just do more research on it, but I was also a bit confused in the beginning, and then over time I was like, oh, okay, so if I apply early decision, that means I have to use my early decision application to apply to a school I really want to go to, like my dream university. And then early action are the other universities. So yeah, and then regular decision is when you still wanted time to work on your application. But yeah, I think that's all. Just do your research, talk to people around you. But yeah, that's the end of the video, y'all. Before I start spilling